Alright guys, hey, hi there, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for your patience, and I've taken 3 to 4 days to upload this video of roadmap to data analytics and data scientist careers, right? So great. I think this video will talk about, as I've already mentioned, the data analyst and data scientist roadmap to careers. How what kind of roadmap can we expect, and what exactly do we need to do build a certain career in data analytics and data science. Now, if we look at data science, let me start with data science. Majorly, data science is if you look at the data related careers, the data related careers comes over here in these 3 circles. The first circle over here is, if I start from here, or probably start from here, is programming language, right? Let's call it programming language. And once we talk about programming language, we are talking about either Python or R. I mean, assuming that not everybody is technically sound and you are looking for that level of expertise which will get me into the field of data, I think Python R is sufficient. No need to get into C, C++, Java and so on like this. I think Python and R will be more than sufficient. The second one, of course, over here is domain knowledge. Domain expertise bolte hain log, but I think here domain knowledge is something that is sufficient. Now, all the freshers, right now I'm assuming that all those who are watching this video are majorly either freshers or somebody who is having 2 to 3 years of work ex, right? Either ways, or probably around 5 years of, less than 5 years of work experience over here, right? So if you're working somewhere, obviously you're having some kind of domain knowledge, right? For example, if you're working in insurance sector, or you're working in healthcare sector, or you're working in hospitality sector, whichever sector you're working, you definitely are gaining some level of domain expertise over here. And I would strongly suggest that you try and have a transition towards, if you're looking for a transition into data analytics career in your domain to start with, then you can move on to other domains as well, as you can move on to other companies which are handling projects from multiple industries and multiple domains. But right now, I think it's a good idea for everybody who is in this particular range of work experience and wants to transition into data analytics or data science careers should target the industries in which they're already working. We'll come back to that later on as well. Freshers, now if freshers think that, sir, मेरे पास तो domain expertise है ही नहीं, मैं तो अभी fresher हूँ, मैंने तो work कहीं करा ही नहीं है. That doesn't mean, domain expertise doesn't mean that you have to work over there, right? Or you have to, become a great, a professional over there. For example, BCom and BBA people have finance level domain knowledge, right? So, I mean, if I look at BCom, MCom, perhaps you can target finance industry. So, in my opinion, targeting the companies, targeting the industry along with the targeting the data analytics and data science careers is equally important, because as a BCom student, you can always talk about accountancy and business management, right? BCom, BBA, right? And if you're, let's say, MCom student, if you're a BSc student, then you probably can talk about, research field over here. If you're an engineering grad, you can definitely, depending upon which engineering you're talking about. For example, if I look at, okay, I'm running out of space, right? So I'll just clear this. For example, if you, let's say, are a civil engineer, then in that case, you can target an industry called as construction, right? Of course, construction, or probably real estate is also not bad for you, right? So you can target these industries over here for the fields of data analytics and data science careers, right? Point is that is we are looking at these industries where we're targeting the companies in which are having the projects of these companies, these particular industries over here. So domain expertise bilkul bhi nahi hai. It's very difficult for me to digest over here. Even freshers have some level of, even if you know it or not, you have some level of domain knowledge or domain expertise. Kuch to padi rahe ho na yaar. So that is your domain knowledge over here. But that domain knowledge should come into handy. For example, if I enter into the field of, let's say, I'm from EdTech and I enter into a field which is completely different. For example, construction. right? I'll not have any knowledge about the jargon or the processes, or how the company makes money, or what are the stuff we are talking about over here. अगर construction से related कोई data आया मेरे सामने, it'll be difficult for me to understand that data, right? It'll be difficult for me to relate with that data. But it'll not be the case with a civil engineer over here. Civil engineer might relate to it better because they're exposed to it. For example, अगर मेरे पास कोई हार्डकोर फाइनेंस का डेटा आया which is talking about the corporate finance, then probably BBA, BCom, MCom students will be able to relate to that data more than a mechanical engineer, isn't it? So the point is, whichever domain you are in, that जो भी आप पढ़ रहे हैं या जहां काम कर रहे हैं, that is your domain. That domain knowledge is required over there, right? So I would understand that everybody has it. Right. Once we talk about this, then I think the next thing that we are looking forward to is, programming language, something like Python and R. Okay. Yeah, I'll come back to that. The third one is your statistics plus maths. Right. We'll go for statistics plus maths. Now, why is statistics and maths required? Because we're looking at data. And once we look at data, we need to process it as well at times, right? And a lot of models will have a lot of statistics involved over there, whether it's inferential statistics, whether it's a descriptive statistics, or whether you're talking about probability, right? We can go on and on over here, right? I'm so sorry, I'm not very good at spelling. So probability, right? So all these smaller concepts, you should be able to have decent control over there. That is, you should have a decent understanding over here. Now, data scientist is majorly nothing but an intersection over here. This is where data science careers lies, right? I'm talking about data science. Now, programming language over here, I think for a data scientist career, programming language, there is hardly any limitations over there. You can keep on learning new technologies over there. So I think here, the new technologies like deep learning, reinforcement learning will add as huge advantage over here. Okay, so this is basic, overview of what skills are required basically. There are three skills. One is a certain programming language or a couple of programming language. Then we're talking about decent enough hold on statistics plus mathematical concept, and some or the other level of domain knowledge or domain expertise that is required to, build a career over here. Now, domain expertise हर एक के पास रहता है भाई. I'm pretty sure about this. Now, there's certain other careers, if you look at it. If I just move on to this page and move on from this page, if you look at these three circles, right, if I talk about domain, and if I talk about, let's say, programming language, and we are talking about, let's say, stats plus maths, right? Now, let's say if you do not have hold on programming language, what kind of careers are we looking at towards over here? Here comes data analyst. Now, when I'm saying no programming language, I'm not saying that absolutely being illiterate when it comes to programming language, right? You have to learn some or the other kind of programming language later on in your life if you want to enter into the field of data science. See, take it like this, right? I mean, computers are like genies. आपके पास एक genie है, and the genie has unlimited potential, has great potential over here. And the only problem is that you're not able to talk to the genie because genie understands a different language. Genie एक अलग language पे बात करता है, उसकी language अलग है, right? But you understand that if we have a word with this genie, if you friendship हो जाए इस genie के साथ, so potential बहुत है genie के पास, ये बहुत सारी चीजें मेरे लिए कर सकता है. What would be the next logical step that you will take? The next logical step is very, very obvious. You will try and learn the language which genie understands, because genie can't talk in some other language, right? That language is programming language. What is programming language? It's a language through which you talk to computers. You give your commands over there. Thankfully, the computer doesn't talk back. It is just a mostly one-way communication over here. It's input from here and output from there, isn't it? So you'll definitely have to learn some of the other kind of programming language. And in fact, government have been, coding is becoming a very very general norm these days. पहले coders जो है ना techie and geeks की category में आते थे, but ऐसा नहीं है. Now everybody is having a decent enough knowledge of one or the other programming or coding language over here, which you should also do. It will be very difficult for you to stay in the field of data and have no knowledge about any programming language. It will be very difficult for you. Okay, so please start with Python. Please start with Python or R or both. दोनों कर लेंगे तो बढ़िया रहेगा. I think it will be better. But if you have decent enough knowledge, Python थोड़ा बहुत आता है, and then I have other tools, then I can build a career towards being a data analyst over here. डोमेन नॉलेज नहीं है तो कोई भी करियर डेटा की फील्ड में बनाना है स्लाइटली डिफिकल्ट. Whereas if I just, let's say I do not have stats plus maths knowledge, then this particular career is more towards developing data ecosystem and is more towards data engineering and probably software development. This is where people tend to go over there, right? So this is where stats plus maths आता नहीं है मुझे डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज ठीक है मेरे पास, और मुझे प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज है. दैट गोज टुवर्ड्स सेटिंग अप द डेटा इकोसिस्टम इफ यू हैव डिसेंट इनफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ डेटा और सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपमेंट. बिकॉज डेटा इकोसिस्टम सेटअप करने के लिए मुझे स्टैट्स प्लस मैथ्स नहीं चाहिए, मुझे डेटा पर वर्क करने के लिए स्टैट्स प्लस मैथ्स का नॉलेज चाहिए. ऑलराइट, कूल, राइट? सो दिस इज द केस ओवर हियर. नाउ इफ आई लुक एट the general flow, the flow in which the careers are being made over here is that somebody starts as in, probably if I talk about a fresher, he starts as a data analyst intern, right? Internship is something that you need to start with. Then we move on to becoming a junior data analyst. Right, then it might be senior data analyst, or probably if you're lucky, you're going to junior data scientist. Now, this is where most of the journey will happen. From here till this particular position, a lot of learning will take place. Okay, and then finally we get to a career of senior data scientist. And this is data scientist or more. Okay, so this is the entire structure, this is the entire flow in which you build a career towards data science. And please don't might be saying this, but this might take up to 5 to 7 years for various individual, right? So if you're looking at shortcut, sir कोई shortcut बता दीजिए जिसके through I can get to this particular designation almost no time. You're wasting your time by watching this particular video, right? I mean, if you're looking for shortcuts, then probably you should skip this video, save yourself some time. Okay, तो यहाँ पर कोई shortcut नहीं है. You have to go through it. You have to go through the entire work. Hard work का कोई replacement नहीं होता है. Hard work plus of course smart work is required. But I think this flow has to be there. आप अभी डेटा एनालिस्ट या डेटा साइंटिस्ट करियर में नहीं है. इसका कारण एक है कि इन तीनों सर्कल्स में से किसी एक सर्कल पर अभी आपकी पकड़ नहीं है. एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट यू नीड टू डू इज टू बिल्ड योर रेपो ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर एरिया ओवर हियर, राइट? सो या, दिस इज द मेजर रोड मैप ओवर हियर. नाउ दिस वी आर जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट एट अ स्किल लेवल. We are talking about a skill level, but थोड़ा सा खुद को कंपनीज के शूज में डालिए. लुक, आई मीन, सी योरसेल्फ like a company. Okay, now if you're interviewing somebody or data analyst या data scientist position के लिए मुझे apply करना है, I'm looking for transition, right? Then what should I do over here? Companies क्या देखेंगी, companies क्या चाहती हैं आपसे, right? One is of course skill set. अभी तक हमने जो भी बात करी थी, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, डोमेन एक्सपर्टीज, स्टैट्स आता है, मैथ्स आता है, ये सब चीजें क्या है, स्किल सेट. देन उसके बाद दूसरी चीज जो आती है, दैट इज हैंड्स ऑन experience. We call it project experience as well. Now project experience जो है आपका कहां से डेवलप होता है? You have to get your hands dirty on the on some real time, real level projects. Okay, now again I'll take it from here that अगर आप freshers हैं, अगर आप fresher हैं, you can actually go to a lot of websites over here and go for a lot of open edit project. For example, Project Pro एक अच्छी वेबसाइट है. It's a paid website, but I think you can go over there. You can go to something like Kaggle, right? A lot of competitions are there, a lot of projects are there, plus a lot of data sets are also there. You can actually, get those data sets for free. बस एक ID बनाना रहता है. In fact, Kaggle और GitHub में हर एक का आईडी होना चाहिए. Everybody who is a data analyst or a data scientist aspirant must have a Kaggle or a GitHub ID. It's indispensable. Okay, ये आपको करना ही पड़ेगा, right? For a fresher, I would go for कि इनमें से किसी वेबसाइट में जाइए और भी दूसरे वेबसाइट्स एक्सप्लोर करिए जहां पर आपको रियल वर्ल्ड प्रोजेक्ट मिलेंगे. रियल वर्ल्ड प्रोजेक्ट्स का व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एन एकेडमिक एंड अ रियल वर्ल्ड प्रोजेक्ट. स्कूल कॉलेजेस में जो हमें प्रोजेक्ट मिलते हैं और रियल वर्ल्ड प्रोजेक्ट में डिफरेंस रहता है. वेल ऑफ कोर्स रियलिटी का, राइट. व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट डेटा इज वेरी मच मेस्ड अप, राइट, व्हेन इट कम्स टू रियल वर्ल्ड डेटा, बिकॉज बहुत सारे एरर आते हैं, बहुत सारी मिसिंग वैल्यूज आती है, बहुत सारा बैड डेटा आता है. दैट इज उस डेटा को हैंडल करने का एक एक्सपीरियंस जो रहता है वो अलग ही आता है आपका, राइट. यू विल रिक्वायर अ डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ पर्सनालिटी, डिफरेंट लेवल ऑफ पेशेंस टू हैंडल दैट लेवल ऑफ डेटा. व्हेयरएज एकेडमिक प्रोजेक्ट्स जो आपके बने बनाए रहते हैं, कुछ कभी कभी डिजाइंड रहते हैं कि भाई बच्चा अच्छे से कर ले इस प्रोजेक्ट को, उसको ज्यादा तकलीफ ना हो, थोड़ी सी हो, पर थोड़ा बहुत तकलीफ करके थोड़ा बहुत डॉक्यूमेंटेशन कर ले, प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट कर ले. अकेडमिक प्रोजेक्ट्स की दैट इज वाई इंडस्ट्री में जो एक इज्जत है, दैट इज देयर इज अ the level of dignity that real hands-on projects have. Academic project की वो चीज नहीं रहती है, right? That's the point over here. So go for real world projects, get your hands on dirty data, and that is where you're going to have real experience to talk about in interviews over here. क्योंकि interview आपका इसके बाद यहाँ पर ही होने वाला है. Okay? अगर आप interviews की बात करेंगे तो, right? So hands-on experience and project experience is there, right? As a fresher you can do that. But if you are already working somewhere, let's say you are a WorkX person and you are looking for a transition, let's say you are in insurance domain, right? बस एक example ले लिए, insurance domain में है, then I would like to advise that you try for something called as internal transition. I'm so sorry for this. You try for something called as internal transition. Internal transition is what a lot of people call IJT. Basically, that's the jargon which goes over here, internal job transfer. Internal transition is something that, how can you get into internal transition? Internal transition एक तरीके से रहता है आपका, you keep in touch with the people with relevant team members, right? So अगर आपका data आपकी in-house team है, so data analyst जो आपके team members हैं, just stay in touch with them, get in touch with them, and try and get yourself involved in one of these projects after of course gaining the skills. आप ये बोलिए कि मेरे को Python आता है, I can run few codes, I can build few models over there, मेरे को Tableau Power BI आता है, I can help you in data visualization. Start taking some help over here. Keep your boss and keep your reporting manager involved over here and tell him that मैं आधा घंटा एक्स्ट्रा काम करके I'm doing this. Getting involvement in the data or the projects of data analysis is very important. And then once you have something to show up, have the HR and the rest of the other relevant stakeholders in the company involved and try and go for a IJT, that is internal job transition. आपकी कंपनी में अगर डेटा एनालिस्ट की पोजीशन है, it will be easier for you to find that position for yourself in the same company instead of going for a different company and a different position. For example, if I'm working as, let's say, sales manager in insurance domain, then sales manager से data analyst बनना in, let's say, in some other domain is slightly, or some other company is slightly difficult as compared to becoming a data analyst from a sales manager. Then you can obviously talk about data visualization, sales, and generating a lot of sales report over there. Getting the point? So for WorkX people, I think gain the skill set, gain the hands-on work experience. Hands-on work experience आपको भी Kaggle और GitHub में मिल जाएगा. But I think if you already have something which is internal, something which is a data department over here, or data science or data analytics or whatever department we call it, right? That department is there. Then try to get involved in the projects over there. And this is how you gain steps towards internal transition. Target internal transition is what I'm trying to say. That'll be much more easier than the external transition, changing the company or changing the domain, right? Once you do these two steps, then obviously the third step is keep learning. Now, if you are under the impression that एक बार पढ़ लिया फटाफट दो मेरे को प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज आ गई, स्टैट्स प्लस मैथ्स आ गया है, and I think I'm all set for life as a data analyst career, you are mistaken, my friend, because every quarter or every 6 months new updates, new technologies are coming up. I think आज से 1.5 साल पहले जनरेटिव AI का किसी ने नाम भी नहीं सुना था और आज ये बिग बज़वर्ड है. ओके, AI का नाम पिछले 3 साल से किसी ने लिया ही नहीं था. 3 साल के अंदर जो हुआ है वो AI आया है, and it has revolutionized the industry. At least it has gained attention a lot of people over here, and companies are seriously working on it. ChatGPT, वेल 1 साल पहले तक गायब था, दिख नहीं रहा था. अब एवरी इट इज बिकम अ कॉमन. चैट जीपीटी, गूगल बार्ड हो गया आपका. दीज आर ऑल वेरी वेरी कॉमन थिंग्स नाउ. एवरीबडी इज यूजिंग इट, इजंट इट? सो द पॉइंट इज दैट नई टेक्नोलॉजीज आएंगी, जो प्रेजेंट टेक्नोलॉजीज है वो अपडेट होंगी, एंड यू हैव टू बी keep learning. You have to keep learning over there, right? That's the path. That is what you need to do on an overall basis, right? So this is what I wanted to share. Apart from that, please be very active in Kaggle and GitHub, because Kaggle and GitHub में आपको प्रोजेक्ट्स मिलेंगे, चैलेंजेस मिलेंगे, डेटा सेट्स मिलेगा, बट इससे ज्यादा आपके पास मिलता है आपको जो हम बोलते हैं कम्युनिटी. समथिंग विच यू गेट ओवर हियर इज कॉल्ड एज कम्युनिटी. कम्युनिटी से सबसे ज्यादा मैंने जो सीखा है वो यहां से सीखा है. डिस्कशन फोरम्स ऑफ Kaggle एंड GitHub गिव्स यू लॉट ऑफ नॉलेज. वो आपको YouTube में नहीं मिलेगा. वो यूट्यूबर्स नहीं रहते हैं वहां पर वो लोग रहते हैं जो रियली अपना नॉलेज शेयर करना चाहते हैं. गो टू Geeks for Geeks, लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स आर देयर, राइट? एंड यहां पर जो आपके किसी पर्टिकुलर कॉम्पिटिशन का डिस्कशन फॉरम में आप एक बार जाके देख, you'll see what level of dedication these guys have over there, right? And they're very very open, thankfully, to sharing their work with the world for free, right? That is something which is great over there. Please don't miss on that and join that. Cool. So this is what I wanted to talk about in this particular video. Hope I added some content over here. So what are you waiting for? Please start your career, start your, where to work for. Start the work over here, right? I have a lot of stories in which people have worked like crazy and they were really committed towards data science careers, and whatever skills that they lacked, they worked on them, and then they developed those skills, got the offer, got the opportunity, entered into the field. A lot of people are doing it, so can you. All right, all the very best. So thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe for updates. From here onwards, I'll be starting a series on statistics and Python and some hands-on end-to-end projects of data analytics and data science, right? So please wait for those videos, and see you guys there. Bye-bye.